Today's lesson is using the distributive property to evaluate and apply finding the greatest common factor. So this is kind of a challenging lesson, so I have a lot of stuff already pre-written. Please pause this as needed so that you can keep up. So the distributive property states that you can distribute a factor across an expression. Distribute means to spread or share, just like you would distribute cards in a card game, you would share them, okay? But of course we're using numbers, so a factor, of course, is a number. An expression, I know you know this, but we're going to review it, is a number sentence without an equal sign. So how do we do this? Well, here are the steps. Steps are very important. Make sure you look at these and follow them each time you are asked to do your homework or on the test that we'll be taking. The first step is to multiply the factor in front of parentheses to the numbers inside of your parentheses. Now, inside that parentheses is your expression, and you will see it as we keep moving on. The second one is to place your operation, which we're only working with adding or subtracting within the parentheses, between the products. And we create products with step 1. And step 3 is to solve. Solve is also called evaluating, so it might ask you to evaluate or even to simplify. Sometimes we see simplify with the distributed property. So here we're going to go ahead and take a look at how we do this. So evaluate using the distributive property. 2 times the sum of 6 and 5. Yes, friends. New way to write multiplication, 2 in the symbol parentheses. That means times. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually rewrite my problem so that you're going to be able to see this step by step. Step 1, multiply the factor in front of the parentheses to the numbers inside the expression. So I take 2 times 6 and 2 times 5. So I'm going to write 2 times 6 and 2 times 5. Done. Next, I'm going to write the operation, either add or subtract between the products. What's my operation? Right here it says add, so I'm going to add. Done. Then it says to solve. Okay, well, how do I solve? Well, with the order of operations, we always solve by multiplying, then adding. So I have 12 plus 10, which equals 22. So how do I find out if that is correct? There's all my 3 steps. Well, now I want to check to see if it's correct. So here's how I check it. I check by rewriting my problem and just solving it using my mathematical steps that I know to do. Remember, the parentheses are screaming at you to do me first. So I add those together and I write 2 times 11. Again, remember parentheses can mean times, especially if there's no other operation in between. 2 times 11 is 22. Check, it worked. Let's do the next one. I'm going to scroll out a little bit because I want to make sure we see those steps as we're working through this one here. Oh, I forgot to put my close parentheses. So step 1 is to multiply my factor across my numbers within my parentheses. So I can just take 3 times 8 and 3 times 5. Step 2 is to write my operation between the products. So here's my operation, and it's going to go in between. Oop, wrong one. Don't write that down. And step 3 is to solve. So I have 24 minus 15, which equals 9. Let's check our work. How do I check my work? I just do my problem as it's set up. Parentheses tells me to do this first. So I take 8 minus 5 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. It checks. Okay, let's turn our page. Oh, look at that. I have another one. We'll go ahead and do this. Step 1 is to multiply your factors. So I take 4 times 7 and 4 times 3. Step 2 is to put in my operation. And then step 3 is to solve. So I take 28 minus 12, which equals 16. Did this work? I don't know. Let's check and see by solving the way this problem is set up. 4 times 4 equals 16. It worked. Okay, so here's the tricky one. That should have been a review of 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. You've already had your distributive property explained to you in those grades, but now we're going to do something a little bit different. It's called factoring an expression using the greatest common factor. It's undoing the evaluating, and this is still part of the distributive property. Okay, it's kind of working backwards though. So let's go ahead with step 1. Step 1 is to first find the GCF, greatest common factor. Step 2 is to divide each number by the greatest common factor. And I know it sounds cryptic, but you'll see how it works when we get down here. Step 3 is to put your GCF outside of parentheses. And step 4 is to place your quotients. Where did I get my quotients? From step 2. Inside my parentheses with the operation, which again, we're only working with adding and subtracting for now, in between. All right, let's work it out. And we're going to check mark as we go. We're going to use different colors. So it says apply the distributive property to factor out the greatest common factor. When you see this, you notice there's no parentheses, but we're going to try to make it so there are parentheses. Okay, so first step is to find the greatest common factor between 60 and 72. We're going to use the L method, my fave. So I know that both of these have 6 as a common factor. 60 divided by 6 is 10. 72 divided by 6 is 12. These are both even, so 2 goes into both of these. So I draw my L down here. I have 5 and I have 6. The common factor between these two is 1. Now I'm not finding the least common multiple, so this is where I stop. And I multiply 6 times 2 is 12 times 1 is 12. So that is my greatest common factor. Check. Next, it says step 2 is to divide each number by the greatest common factor. That means I go here and I take 60 divided by 12, which equals 5. And I take 72 divided by 12, and that equals 6. Hey, do you see something in common? See how this is this? Oh, and this is this? This is an extra step, but I wanted to make sure you saw that there. So if you don't need to do that, you don't have to, but if you need to do it, please stick with it. So that was step 2. Now, step 3 says to put the GCF on the outside of the parentheses. So I'm going to take my orange and I'm going to put 12 in parentheses. That was step 3. Step 4 is put the quotients. Where are my quotients? These are my quotients inside with the operation in between. So here we go. My quotient 5, my quotient 6. What is my operation? Adding. And that, my friends, is the end. Now, did it work? Is it true? Is it accurate? Is this the right answer? Well, we're going to find out by checking. So I'm going to take 60 plus 72, and I get 132. Will this equal 132? Well, let's try it. I always do what's ever in parentheses first, so I end up with 12 times 11. Hey, and I know my 12 facts and my 11 facts. It did work. Okay, let's put in one more. Oh, actually, oh, okay. So let me go over here. I didn't put enough room here. I shouldn't have put that in. So I start with 64, I'm sorry, we're finding the greatest common factor. Now, because I am a super pro at finding, or my math facts, I know that 8 goes into both of these numbers evenly. 8 goes into 64 8 times, 8 goes into 56 7 times, and the greatest factor between 8 and, or the only factor between 8 and 7 is 1. So my greatest common factor is 8. Step 2 is to divide. So I take 64 divided by 8 equals 8, and 56 divided by 8 equals 7. Hey, remember, I have it already done here, so this is just to help me. That's fine. Step 3 is to write my greatest common factor on the outside of the parentheses, and I take my quotients and I write them on the inside, and then I make sure I put my operation in. Now, does it work? Well, let's see. 64 minus 56 equals 8. So here I have 8 times 8 minus 7 is 1. Hey, it works. And there you have it.